Yo, what's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today is a little bit special because this is the anniversary of the Nintendo Switch, the 2-year anniversary of the system, and it's always a special time whenever an anniversary comes around, but especially with the Nintendo Switch because that is the same time frame to where I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and go all in on YouTube and make sure that I can try to create better content for you guys. And it's where I got let go from my normal day job that I had, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do YouTube. So it's always a special time period for me, and I think that the Nintendo Switch being one of my favorite systems of all time and where I spend a lot of my gaming time, it's special to talk about these type of things. So let's go ahead and talk about some stuff like the apps and features that I like to see for the Nintendo Switch, some of my favorite games in addition to a 2019 outlook. So everyone's always been talking about like Netflix on the Nintendo Switch. I think that's one of the most requested apps for the system, and I feel that it's something that I want to see on the system just for other people, not necessarily myself. I personally would love to see stuff like themes. I think themes are my most requested thing for the Nintendo Switch that doesn't really matter too much, right? Like themes, they don't do anything for the most part. I mean, they can sometimes play some music and they look cool, but I think that's the only reason why I want them. It's not like they add any real functionality, but also features-wise, having voice chat and stuff like that would be great on the system. But once again, I'll be honest, guys, I'm still gonna use Discord for everything, but for other people, that would be great. So having some voice chat, having some themes, and having some more apps on the system like Netflix would be dope. Now let's talk about some of my favorite games on the system so far released in the first 2 years, and I'm not going to name off like 15 different games or anything like that, but I will go over 3 games that I love the most. And we're going to go ahead and start off in no particular order with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think all the conversation with the Switch kind of starts and stops with that because Breath of the Wild was the game that sold people on the Nintendo Switch. The revolutionary type of gameplay that's in there. I'm going through and playing the game again for live streaming purposes, and it's just absolutely amazing. It's so much fun to go back into that world and kind of do all the different things that you can do in there. I've never played a game that uses an open world like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. From the chopping down of the trees, the climbing, hunting, just the style of the game is just absolutely incredible, and I think that the paraglider and the shrines and the discovery of the game is just absolutely beautiful. I have not played a Zelda game, in my opinion, that's as good as Breath of the Wild. It's my favorite Zelda game of all time, and it's one of my favorite games of all time, just period, because of what that game did and kind of what it stands for and what it stood for the Switch. I mean, we're talking about the anniversary of the Switch and what made this system successful. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of those games that literally sold the system by itself. I mean, it was missing so many other things when it comes to third-party games, when it comes to features, when it comes to all that stuff, but people just didn't care. They just rushed out there and bought a Switch for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Even though it was already on the Wii U and Wii U's were out there for people to buy, they're like, no, the Switch to where we can play this anywhere that we want. I mean, this is the type of game that really is a true system seller. So Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the first one. Next would be Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country. Now, I am kind of cheating just a little bit because Torn of the Golden Country is actually its own standalone game. You do not need Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in order to play Torn of the Golden Country. You can buy the game digital standalone or you can buy the game physical. There's actually both options, but if you bought the Season Pass add-on with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you got it a bit early and it was cheaper because I think the digital standalone, it might be 30 or 40, I'm not really sure, but I know the physical's 40. Yeah, I think the digital standalone, that might be 30, but either way, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country, these are some of the most unique RPGs ever made. It takes and it pulls from so many different genres, and I think that's what you're going to see with a lot of the games that I talk about, or at least these 3/4 games that I talk about, is that they're so unique within their genre, right? You can call Xenoblade Chronicles 2 an RPG, but it's kind of action-y, right? Because you can move around, but then it also kind of has some like MMO elements, right? Because you see a lot of the enemies just out there roaming around and everything. You don't really see that a lot in RPGs, but then when you attack people, but then you don't actually physically press press the buttons like an action RPG, for example, like Kingdom Hearts. You don't actually press the buttons like that, but then there's auto attacks, and then there's all type of stats to manipulate that auto attack. But then there's also refresh, so it's almost like, okay, you want to do like a certain special move or something like that, you can press that button, and then they'll do that move, but then it refreshes. So like that MMO type of feel, like skills and everything. But then again, there's like positioning too, so it's just this weird mismatch of turn-based action, MMO, and everything just kind of put together, which puts off some people. But for those who give it a chance and actually try to explore the battle system and everything, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is unlike anything else, and that's why it's carved out its own path and its own hardcore fan base that absolutely love the games, and it's only going to go up from here. We've had Xenoblade Chronicles, the original, on the Wii. We have Xenoblade Chronicles X, and now with Torn of the Golden Country and with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it seems like the games just get better and better for me, and they explore new options. To me, Torn of the Golden Country was the most refined. Obviously, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the story was phenomenal. I love the story, but the gameplay in Torn of the Golden Country was so refined and so good. I am excited for the future of Xenoblade, and I feel that these two games really kind of just sum up the Switch when it comes to the 2-year anniversary and everything, because we got one of them in the first year, and then we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in the calendar second year. It wasn't 2 years when Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country came out. It was like a year and some odd months, but in the calendar second year of 2018. So it's just great to see these games have success, and to me, they're just memorable and great experiences that I've put the most time into. And that's one thing that you're going to notice with these games that I go over. These are the games that I've actually put the most time into, 170 hours plus. And with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torn of the Golden Country, definitely put in my time there. Now, for the last game that I'm going to be talking about, it's the game that recently just came out, and that is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This game already has like nearly 200 hours from me, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to put in a lot more time with this game. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is just the ultimate. I mean, it has so much content, and especially if you look at games today, you see stuff like Street Fighter, you see other fighting games coming out with these ridiculous season passes and costs for characters and anything, and Smash Bros. Ultimate just did everything right. Hey, you want a game with a lot of characters? Sure, you've got that. 70 plus characters in the game. Hey, you want some DLC? Okay, we'll do DLC after the game has been released, and of course you can get a free Piranha Plant in addition to Joker and more characters coming in. There are surprises. The game is just packed full of content. There's definitely some rough areas here and there when it comes to it, but overall I have not played a fighting game that gave you this many characters, this much content, and was this enjoyable. All of the stages that you can do in the game, just absolutely incredible. The gameplay mechanics that they did, Sakurai and his team actually turned to the competitive crowd in order to see what they can do to make the battle system, to make the combat and the mechanics much better and improved over Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. So I'm very grateful for that, because playing this game is really awesome to play competitively. I mean, I played Smash 4 competitively, I played Brawl a little bit more, but this is the most fun that I've ever had playing a Smash Bros. Game competitively. It's just slick, and it's fast, and it moves well, and they're continuing to make improvements. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the cornerstone of fighting games to me. It's the game that everybody should be looking at and saying, yo, what can we do to provide that type of content in our fighting game coming up? Because you see a lot of fighting games come out and they slash the roster, they don't even put all the returning characters. Smash Ultimate proved that, yeah, you can do that, and you can do that at a very high quality, and also have a lot of variety within the movesets and what you can do in the game. It's just absolutely incredible, and still to this point, I don't know how Sakurai did it. With the time restraints and everything, it's just crazy, but they got it done, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate definitely is one of the cornerstone key games for the Switch. Now let's talk about 2019 just a little bit before we wrap up this video here, guys. 2019 is looking very, very good. We're starting up with a lot of third-party games in April with Dragon Ball Z. Also, Final Fantasy games are coming out. Mortal Kombat is coming, Dragon's Dogma. So we got some nice mixes of ports and some new games as well. But I think the summer, that's when things really heat up for the Nintendo Switch, because you have huge games coming out over the summer. Super Mario Maker is kicking things off right. You also have Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which I'm extremely excited about, and I feel that Fire Emblem 3 Houses is going to be added in to that cornerstone of games. I think that's going to be a huge hit for this year, and a lot bigger than what some people think. Also, Astral Chain, that is an August title as well. So pretty much June, July, and August are just big hitters for the Nintendo Switch. We also have games like Animal Crossing coming through. Luigi's Mansion is going to be here. Town is still set for 2019. And of course, the big one, and that is Pokemon Sword and Shield that was recently revealed at the Nintendo Direct. So I'm excited to see all the games for 2019. I think this is going to be a great year. And how can anybody forget Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? Some people are sleeping on that game, but I'm telling you, that is going to be a great multiplayer co-op experience, online and offline. Even on a single Nintendo Switch, you can play 4 players, old school style like you did back with X-Men Legends and those games. Always been a big fan of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, X-Men Legend, old school action RPG beat 'em ups. I'm so happy that is coming back. So 2019 is looking really good. If you're looking at the Nintendo Switch after 2 years here, still some stuff that they can brush up, obviously, with the apps and the features that I talked about. But when you look at like the key games with Zelda and Xenoblade, you can even look at stuff like Octopath Traveler that I didn't talk about. I just wanted to go over some of my key games that I've put well over 150 hours into. The Switch is off to a blazing start. The first 2 years have been better than any other Nintendo system that I can think of, and probably by the time that Fire Emblem 3 Houses come out, I'm gonna go ahead and solidify that this is the greatest Nintendo system of all time, at least for me. I think once Fire Emblem comes out, you know, right there, I'm pretty much like almost there. It's kind of borderlining with the Super Nintendo, and it's almost there, but I think maybe I'll probably make a video once the greatness of Fire Emblem drops, that we can maybe have that discussion. But it's getting there. It's getting there for some. So what do you guys think about the Nintendo Switch turning 2? What are some of your favorite games or features that you'd like to see on the system? And what do you think about the 2019 outlook for the system as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.